afternoon, traders. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The market's not having a fantastic day. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit miffed with Apple right now. I didn't plan on that dude not being a huge winner. But you know what? Again, this is twice this week to really put out the point of how important position sizing is, right? Now, of course, we're going to follow the plan. We're going to look for new opportunities, but we're always, always, always going to be sure we follow the plan to keep our risk in check. So, before we do that, though, I saw this news story. Let me share my screen here. Inflation unexpectedly, here we go. Inflation unexpectedly falls to 3% in June. And apparently the market didn't like it. The market's selling off pretty hard on that news, actually, if you look at this, right? I think it was just yesterday I was talking about, I think we're due for a pullback here. And, anytime you see the market going on a huge upward run like that, it does make me a bit nervous. But the inflation unexpectedly falls to 3% in June. Labor Department releases closely watched June inflation data. Inflation cooled more than expected in June, a welcome sign for the Federal Reserve as prices remained uncomfortably high for millions of Americans. I talked about this just a couple days ago. I noticed, so my wife had bought my kids some McDonald's, and on a recent road trip we took, we ran through Burger King while my Tesla was charging, and saw some meals, the prices of the meals had started to come back down. And on one hand, I'm like, this is great news. This is exactly what we want to see, right? If you go back to 2009 or so, you remember they had like 2 for $20 at Chili's, and it was like drinks, appetizer, meal, and dessert for like $20, right? Which is like unheard of these days. But that was in response to the fact that we hit a recession and they still needed to gain business. And prices had gone up and up and up, and people decided to start fighting back against the prices going up by choosing not to eat out lately, right? I don't have the same store sales or anything in front of me here, but we've all seen the fact that prices have gone up, and we've all made different choices recently because of that. Doesn't matter how much is in your bank account. You are still saying, oh man, it costs that much? That is crazy. So this is welcome, right? This is welcome to see this ease in prices. I haven't seen it other than at Burger King and McDonald's. Maybe you have. If you have, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I have not seen this deflationary environment yet. And that's what it's a bit nerve-wracking, because if prices start to come down, that is a good sign. But keep in mind, you as the consumer are seeing prices coming down. You're saying, well, okay, if prices are coming down, I'll just wait a little bit longer. And then what started off as a good sign, right? A way to pick up the economy, a way to get people back to a point where they're happy with spending, becomes really brutal really fast. A deflationary spiral can happen just like that, because people like Peter, good to see you, Peter, and Jean-Louis here, Brian's here. Brian's saying it's deflationary of Dollar General. That's what we want to see. People like Peter and Jean-Louis and Brian, they could basically say, you know what? I don't need to buy a house right now. A lot of people are saying that, with inflation, the price of the houses being as high as they are, with interest rates being as high as they are, a lot of people could just sit back and say, nah, I'm not going to buy anything for a while. And then before you know it, housing prices crash because people have to move out, right? They are forced to move out because of life circumstances. And when they do, they have to plummet their price in order to get people to buy. And that was the whole point of raising rates, is to push prices down across the board, because they can't be offset by low rates. Like Brian's talking about here, 3.25%, 30-year. My interest rate is 3 5/8. So what is that? It's like, what is 5 divided by 8? 3.625. That's my rate. And like, I'm not going anywhere. If I have to get a mortgage today, it's double what it was, right? The Labor Department on Thursday said the CPI, a broad measure of how everyday goods like gas, groceries, and rent, dropped 0.1% in June. Okay, funny story. So when I ran up to Arkansas with my dad over the weekend, we were driving in my Tesla, And I've stopped looking at gas prices, and he was so into it, right? He's almost 80, so things like that are the kind of things that he focuses on. He obsesses over, right? He's like, "Oh, I could have paid 10 cents less over at that station instead of this station." And we're going through all these towns, and he's like, "Oh man, can you believe the price of gas? I haven't seen gas prices come down yet." Brian says zero point 0.1 is a rounding error. Yeah, it dropped 0.1% in June, which is a rounding error. I agree. Both of these figures are lower than the 0.1% monthly increase and 3.1% headline gain forecast by economists. Economists. Yeah. So still, we're still not where we need to be. But I mean, in reality, are you actually seeing anything costing less these days? I really am curious to see. Brian said deflationary at Dollar General, but I haven't seen much other than fast food. While it's too soon to declare victory, signs of normalization are welcome, as this is the space where the last mile of inflation is taking place. I don't know, dude. Like when I see this chart, right, and I see the people who cheer for it. I've mentioned this many times. This is just gaslighting on a national scale here, because you see this chart and you think, "Oh, awesome, inflation's come down. That's great." But keep in mind that the cumulative. In fact, I'm hoping there's a chart. No, the cumulative inflation looks like this, right? Cumulative inflation looks like that. Okay, and then you see these periodic ones that are coming down. The periodic ones are coming down, but it's still going up in total. It's still 3% higher than it was a year ago, right? So that's like saying I was driving at 100 miles an hour and I was increasing at 9%. So I was at like 109 miles an hour, but now I'm only increasing at 3%, officer. That doesn't mean you're slowing down. That still means you're actually going like 112. Does that make sense, right? You're still increasing in speed. You're just not increasing at speed as rapidly. Good to see you, Michael and Sebastian. Glad y'all are here. So, like, we're not to that point yet, but I think we are starting to see some breaks in prices, which is exactly what we want. Softer than expected report comes as the Fed policymakers look for evidence that high inflation has been successfully tamed, and they contemplate when to start cutting interest rates. Inflation is not tamed until prices come back down, right? We're still paying those higher prices. But the point is, right? Let's say I'll do another drawing on here. Let's say that this is baseline prices, right? And let's say that prices, they move up and down here and there. And then they peaked, and now prices might start coming back down to what that baseline was, if that's down here. But they also might like really plummet. And that sounds a bit scary to me. So I'm in the camp of I want to see disinflation. Disinflation is what we have right now, which is a period of time where the rate of inflation is coming down. We are at disinflation, but I do also want to see deflation. Listen, I want my dollar to go further, right? I'm tired of paying double for groceries what I used to pay just a couple years ago. I am real tired of that. Just yesterday was my wife's birthday, and so I rolled through Starbucks. Her drink cost over $7 for the one coffee. And I was like, goodness, are you serious? When did that go up? And then they had the audacity to ask me for a tip as I'm going through the drive through. What? You literally are handing me a cup? You're not getting a tip. By the way, my stance on tipping culture is if you're not going to tip them in cash, don't even feel pressure to tip them with the card. There is zero reason to do so. Uh, Brian says people have short memories, so it sounds like a win. Yeah, it does, unless you're smart, and you're smart by watching this. That's absolutely right. No, let's take a look. What's an inflationary stock? In fact, Brian mentioned Dollar General. Let's go with Dollar General inside of Outlier. I'm very curious to see what the deflationary, not not deflationary, but the inflationary pressures have done on Dollar General. Right? We can see here Dollar General, I mean, it peaked earlier this year around 150 bucks, has been selling off hard. We're down in a pink overlay, which means a strong downtrend. And then we did get a buy signal a couple days ago. Let's see the performance summary. Wow, unexpected. I love when these come up, right? If you were a buy and holder of Dollar General, you'd be down 17%. But if you follow these outlier buy and sell signals, you'd be up 36%. That's the kind of results that we want to see, right? So Brian, yeah, dude, that's definitely something that is on my radar right now. Let's see. Brian says, will food prices ever come back down? Most restaurants do not reduce prices. If salaried, would you return some of your salary next year? Not a chance, dude. Not a chance. But then again, if they want customers and customers are price sensitive, what else can they do? What levers can they pull? Right? Do you remember? I remember way back when I was talking with another trader on the podcast. You could go back and find it on my channel, and we talked about inflation. And this was when chicken prices. Do you remember this? When chicken prices were like the leading indicator, and chicken prices had doubled, like by the ton or by the barrel or by the bucket. I don't know how you buy chicken. And chicken prices had doubled, and the big consensus at that time was inflation's transitory. Inflation's transitory. It's going to go away. And now look at us, right? that was before. That was before. That was before this big spike right here when they were saying inflation's transitory, and then shabam. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with inflation, but fingers crossed it does lead to lower prices overall. I mean, I certainly am hoping for that. All right, so let's move into our market analysis right now. Don't forget tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon o'clock West Coast time. We will be having a special live stream. I want to be talking about how important it is to trade with the trend. And I definitely want you to come and share this with your friends. Full disclosure, I will be teaching on this. And then at the very end, I just have a soft pitch for those who aren't already inside of OVTLYR to join in to see how awesome it is. So welcome to the OVTLYR Trading Room. This is smart trading made simple. Save time, make money, start winning with less risk. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christopher Uhl. I've been awarded top 100 people in finance twice. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and I'm a partner with OVTLYR. And this is my style of trading using OVTLYR. So, but OVTLYR delivers you new opportunities every single day. I don't know. I may rewrite that a little bit, but that's what it is for today. OVTLYR delivers you new opportunities every single day. So the golden ticket trading strategy, it's the 8 steps to turn profit hacking into pure gold. It always starts with the market. And this is what we're going to be covering tomorrow, how important it is to trade with the trend. Let the market tell you which direction it is going. It's just math, right? We want to see the 10 over the 20, price over the 50. Let's go to the SPY, and we can see here, we do have a very strong pullback on the day. In fact, if you go to yesterday's video, I said, this move right here makes me nervous. Volume is decreasing. This blue line right here is the average volume, and you can see, let me zoom out just a smidge. You can see average volume is just going down and down and down and down while the market's going up and up and up and up. That makes me nervous. That definitely makes me nervous. So with that being said, the market is still trending up. We've got the 10 over the 20, price over the 50. And then we need to look at the market breadth. So this is the percent of stocks that are on our bull list today. And it is continuing to grow. So the number of stocks on the bull list, the number of stocks getting buy signals continues to grow today. So that was our market trend and our market breadth. And now, because those two are in agreement, before we do anything, we need to look to reduce risk before adding new trades. Now, a couple things to note is we actually got a buy signal on the SPY today. So we have a criteria that we're going to go through real quick, specifically on SPY. And we'll get to there in a minute. But before we do that, we need to look at what we have on right now, which there are two. One of them is working great, and the other one is not. In fact, one of them, it looks like we need to roll. Apple. Seriously, Apple. Very frustrated with this guy. I want to look at the 5-minute chart. Brent says, haha, buy on the SPY. So if we look at the 5-minute chart on Apple, this is what I wanted to see, if it's moving higher or lower. We do have the 10 over the 20. Price is kissing the 50 right now. I'm telling you, I have seen enough in the last, I don't know, 6-8 weeks or so, a couple months at least, where they have these huge sell-offs, and then by the end of the day, it just rallies back with full force. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on this for another 20 minutes or so. In fact, we'll probably end, and I'll need to update you in the Discord what I decide to do. Hey, Michael, I know, right? So I've seen enough of these late rallies that, like, I'm not ready to call in this, call in the Apple yet. It's got to move $1.91, 83 basis points. The SPY, isn't looking so hot at the moment. Q's isn't looking so hot. But I want to give this just a few more minutes before I decide to throw this in, because I've seen enough of these, and I'm a bit frustrated with Apple at the moment. So I'm going to hang on to it for a minute, but I will follow my plan by the end of the day. That's for dang sure. Next, let's go to AEM. So this is one we put on yesterday as well, but this one's looking awesome, right? In fact, this is the type of candle you want to see, with a long down tail that still manages to close up like this, because that tells me that sellers weren't that strong, right? Sellers came in trying to take their profits on this side, and they couldn't do it. And whenever I see a candle like this, imagine this is a hammer, right? And it's telling you, it's pointing in the direction that it wants to go. So for me, that's a good sign. We want to see that. And I want to roll it. It's right at our rolling point, our 1 ATR rolling point. So let's go through the steps for that real quick. When a stock moves 1 ATR in your direction, can you roll up and out for a credit? Most likely we can. We'll check it out in a moment. As one order, sell to close the original position, buy to open closer to the money with the same number of contracts. That frees up partial profits now, keeps the trade alive, and allows you to have some capital, right? You're going to take some profits on the table, keep your trade on, and have some capital back to trade with. So let me log in. I feel like, yeah, the business account just logged in right now. And this account over here. So we need to go AEM. And on AEM, we are in the August 16s, 65s. Now, can we roll up to the 70s successfully? I know we can do it for a credit. Like, without a doubt, we can do it for a credit. So if we sell to close, sell to close, buy to open, from the 65 to the 70s, that's a $4.25 credit. That's great. I love that. We need to see our liquidity standards. Let's go over those real quick. 21 days expiration, not a problem. 250 plus open interest, less than 50-cent bid-ask spread, 20% or less extrinsic value, generally 80 delta. So we're moving from the 86 to the 73 delta. That's why I'm questioning this and making sure that everything fits. So 155 on extrinsic over 630. What is that extrinsic value? 24%. That's okay. 3,500 on open interest. 73 delta. I would like better, but that's not that big a deal. And we can take $4 in credit off the table right now. All right, I'm good for it. So rolling the 65. So sell to close the 65s, buy to open the 70s as one order, same number of contracts. And we might have to play with the fill price to get there. So sell to close the 65, buy to open the 70, same number of contracts on August 16th. Let me try. I want to put it in at 425. Okay, there we go. Filled. I'm in at 425 for the roll here. So, like I say, it's one order rolling up 65 to 70. It's one order. And you're getting a credit back into your account immediately right now of 425. So we took off, or I'm sorry, we put on the trade at $9. We just got back $4.25 right now. And then the value of the current option is, let's call it 625. Means we're up about 16% on the trade right now, but keeping the basically keeping the trade alive. That's the important part here. So let me put this in the Discord. All right, so I need to scope here for a rolling trade. I wish they all could be like that. That's the thing with trading, right? You don't know which ones are going to work. You don't know which ones are not going to work, right? I would have called Apple to be the one we're rolling up today and not AEM. But that's how trading goes, right? You put on opportunities with the best data that you have. And then if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, get out of town, get out of the way before it works against you. Rolled up the 65 calls to the 70 calls for 425. Cool. All right, so we're in the 70s still. Give me just a second here. Just making my notes. AEM August 16th, 70s. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's go back to Apple for actually real quick before we do this. Let's establish the half ATR down point. And we didn't even check the sell into strength at G13. I don't think we're going to have reached that point yet, but let's just check it. No, got in yesterday R1, today is G1. Okay, cool. So sell into strength at G13 still remains. We need a half ATR down from our existing roll-up point. It's at 180 right now. So 90 cents down from basically where we got in at. So 74.63 minus 0.9, which is $1.80, half of $1.80, 73.73. That'll work right there. So we'll get out there if we need to. Otherwise, let's let that run. Let's go back to Apple, check that dude out. What was I saying just a couple minutes ago? Now it does have this order block that was created earlier. So if it can pass through there, I'll feel a lot better about it. But it just made up to 57.60 cents here in the last few minutes. So let's just let that work. Let's go back to the plan here. Get today's buy and sell signals. Now, today we have a buy signal on SPY. Let's go through this process. On SPY signal day, is breadth and price both trending in the same direction? On SPY, breadth, daily. I'm sorry, trend, market trend is trending higher. Yes. Breadth, we know, we've already looked at that. Market breadth is also trending up. So that's good. Is breadth and price trending in the same direction? Yes. Is the back test positive on SPY? I know it is, but we're going to do it together. Give it a minute to load. All right, performance summary, 76%. I'll count that as positive expectancy. Yep. Does it have a green overlay? Sure does. That looks great. Lastly, is it above yesterday's high? Certainly not. Certainly not. So my last step on that is, if no, enter an alert and close on the next close above the signal high or low. So above today's signal high. So I'll put that right there. So tomorrow we'll check. If it's above that, that would be an entry point for me. If not, we can wait a few days. And as long as nothing else changes, that will be an entry point, maybe a few days in the future. So we're going to set that there and let it work. Let's go to the next step, which is the rest of the buy and sell signals. So we're going to go over here. We're going to filter for green overlays because that's the uptrends that we want to see. I haven't done this today already, so I don't know how many we're going to look at. That's a few. Copy. And let's just filter out the ones with high volume. We got a few. We've got 9. Drop this into my bull list over here. All right, some financials. Bank of America and Schwab right there, I noticed. And let's hit the scanner. The scanner is going to run through these real quick. Make sure there's no order blocks in the way, no earnings in the next 3 days, and the price is in the direction of the trend. It's just a handful. ENTG, that's sitting inside of an order block. We don't want that one. GLW. That one looks decent. A nice pop right there. NEM. Oh yeah, that's a strong candle right there. That's got an order block, but it's at 51, which is $4 away. I can live with that. KTOS. Again, that looks all right. And then BAC. BAC is in a beautiful trend right there. So all of these have potential. The next step here is to check the outlier signals for those guys. So we've got BAC. Put them in alphabetical order so I can click it faster. ENTG. GLW. KTOS. And NEM. One of those I remember was not right. Was it NEM? No. It was ENTG. Let me close that one. Okay, real quick, I just realized we hadn't looked at Apple's heat map. If it has a heat map stall, we do need to get out no matter what today. So let's just double check that real quick. Heat map stall. G27, looking on this lineup here, G27 yesterday, G28 today. We want to see it progressing forward, so that looks fine. So let's take a look at BAC, performance summary, 25%. Cool. GLW, negative 6%. We're not going to look at GLW anymore. KTOS, negative anything. We're not going to look at that anymore. NEM, positive 4.6. That's all I'm looking for is positive expectancy. So we have BAC and NEM. Let's go take a look at the option prices for both of them. BAC should be totally chill to take options on. It usually has lots of volume. Yeah. Really highly liquid stock. So that one's not going to be an issue. Let's go to, was it NEM? I feel like I've traded that before a few times. Oh yeah, tons of liquidity here too. Okay, both of those look pretty chill. And BAC, NEM. Just want to look at Apple real quick. Is it coming back like we thought it might? Got about 15 minutes till the market closes. We'll give that some time to work. It's still processing. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen this, and you have too, where it's got this last minute just rush of buys. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting on to see if it actually pulls through. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Following the plan. Let's go. I guess we can start with BAC. We need to start with the highest back test and work our way down. Now, BAC is in the financials and NEM is in the materials. So I want to go to market breadth for both of those. And we want to see the same thing that shows the market breadth for that sector is also increasing, which is definitely in materials for sure. And in financials, it is. Now it's over 75%. Now my rules, once it gets over 75%, it's only enter if breadth is still moving up on that day. If it goes over 75% and then changes directions, so if it goes from like 73, 74, 75, 76, 75, that's halt trading at that point until it can until it comes back down. So I'm okay with that, but we are going to watch it. It's at 78% right now on the bull list. Yesterday was 75%. So it is increasing still, so I'm interested. Okay. BAC. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and close Apple now. It's not getting there. That gives us more funds anyway. Closing Apple. 225s. I'll be the first to tell you I'm so surprised by that. Apple, this was on a unusual expiration. I remember that. Apple, July 26th expiration. 225s. Close and get out of the way. See if we can get 630. No, I don't want to buy more. I want to close. I want to get out of that. Full position. 635. Working at 635. Because this is super liquid, we shouldn't have to really go far. Okay, filled at 635. Very annoyed by Apple. Oh, Brian was letting Yorn know. Closed Apple. Stupid Apple. Reply. Closed Apple. Today is the 11th. The 225 calls. Yep. Fill price was 635, I believe. Let me double check my activity history. Yeah, 635. How did that do? Not great, but part of the trading plan. 635 was my exit price. Oof. All right, that was 31% on the option. And oh, hang on. I had the wrong number in here. I was like, I did not lose that much money. It had about 5 times as much on there on my spreadsheet. I was like, that can't be right. No, that looks a lot better. Yeah, on there, it well, I'll just tell you, it said I had 109 calls in my spreadsheet when I had more like 20, and I was like, that's not right. That is not right. So the account impact on that's like 1.8. As below half ATR. Okay. There we go. Oh, Nathan, how you been, my friend? No, I didn't get a new keyboard. I'll tell you what happened. This is really annoying. This is way too inside baseball. My OBS studio, for some reason, has crapped the bed. And I used to have audio filters. You can go back a couple months and hear like the audio quality is very different. And I cannot for the life of me get the audio filters to work. And one of the audio filters was removing all background noise. And so now you can hear the keyboard. All right, cool. Jorn's working on his orders. Let's go back. We're out of Apple. We're still in AEM. We need to get busy. We only got 10 minutes left in the market. Let's go back to BAC. Regular expirations, August. BAC. Let's look at, why am I zoning out right here? Okay, in the business account, BAC. Trade, there we go. BAC, August 16th. Which strike do we want to go with? Let's start with the 39s. That's the 78 delta, 51 cents on 345. I'm going to have to go a little bit quicker. That's 14%. Might even be able to go down one. Let's see, 70 cents on 265. 26. But it saves you $1. Still highly liquid. 9 cents wide, 10 cents wide. Well, we can go with BAC on the 39s. Let's go with BAC on the 39s. Get your position sizing correct. Okay, got mine. BAC. BAC, August 16th. 39 calls. All right, working the order on the 39s. 340 is current price. What was I working at? Replace 335. All right, let me try 340. It's so we should be okay. Not filled at 340. Try 345. That should definitely fill. Oh, okay. I was hoping we could get a price improvement, but I did get filled at 345. quickly roll over here and do this. This was August 16th. BAC. 39 calls. 345. It's currently BAC is at, son of a bitch, I told you it would. I told you it would. Watch it come back. Don't you hate it when you're right? 41.88. Pardon my French there. Parlez-vous français? And then trade number 2 is NEM. August 16th. All right. The 80 delta puts us around the 42.5. Lots of liquidity there. 68 cents on 535 is definitely less than 20%. Yeah, 12%. Could we go up one? 69 cents on, no. 128 on 345 is going to be too much. 37%. So we're right there at the 42.5s. NEM August 16th, 42.5s. Get my position size. NEM 42.5s. August 16th. All right, starting the order at 5:30. All right. Filled. My fill price was 532, but I'll take it. 532 on NEM. Trade number 2. Bought August 16th at 42.5s. NEM for 532. NEM is currently trading at 47.11. All right. I had a lot of work today. A lot of work today. Got out of Apple, rolled up. Oh, what is the one we rolled up? What is the name? I cannot remember it. AEM. Got out of Apple, rolled up AEM, added NEM and BAC. So quite a lot. Main list. Okay, Apple's not going to do it. I feel better now. Screw that guy. Screw Steve Apple and all of them. Let's do real quick run through and update our exit points. So that was AEM. We're keeping in NEM. And what was the other one? Forgive me. BAC. So let's do NEM first. Since I got it. Let's go to the daily chart. In at 47.11. Okay, that'll work. That's only a penny off. All right. Half ATR down is at 46.59. One ATR up is at 48.19. Two ATR up is 49.26. Okay, that'll work. So that's NEM. Let's go to BAC. Oh, real quick. Let's do NEM's sell into strength point. This is the boring part of trading, but you got to do it. Okay. Oh, it's so flat. It's hard to see it. G1. So G1, I believe the exit point would be G13. Any G is a 10-point spread. So G11. Okay. And then BAC. Oh, yeah. We haven't done BAC yet. Got confused because it was right there. BAC, we got into BAC. The price was at 41.88 when we talked. It's a 41.89 on this spreadsheet, so it's fine. Half ATR down. Opening. Half ATR down, 41.50. That's not what I said. 41.50, please. 42.67 is one ATR up. What the heck? TrendSpider has been kind of weird about these lines lately. It's okay. 42.67. And then 43.45 would be the next one. All right. Busy day. Selling to strength on BAC at G14 is the entry point. 10-point spread. G24. Goodness. All right. I am done. Way too much to do. Nathan says, cool. Haven't been able to make the trades lately, but been watching everything. Still loving Outlier. Thanks, Nathan. I'm glad to hear that. We're doing our very best to make it as better as we can. Better and better by the day. In fact, by tomorrow, Mahesh said I should be able to see the scanner inside of Dev. This will be really cool. I want to do this with you tomorrow. I don't know if the data in Dev is not always up to date until it goes into production. Then the data is obviously up to date. But that'll allow us to test it. So I may ask you for some ideas that we can test, and we can do a live test tomorrow on it. So that's going to be exciting. Thank you all so much for coming to today's OVTLYR Trading Room. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, we have a special live stream, 3 o'clock Eastern time, right before the trading room. Then we'll have the trading room, and then I'll see you then. Talk soon.